It's your boy Matt here. So I'm having this thought. I'm having this thought because the idea of Delta was placed as a stimulus in my feed intentionally, and the obvious connotation is Delta forces for me because I one of my interests is military culture. So the same way there are people who are slightly guys and they get really into like Viking shit, and some people get really into Japan and that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm one of those people, and what I got really into because I was sort of it was something which deeply impacted me on top of on top of at one point being something I was pursuing as a career was that it's so fascinating, just structurally how it functions as an institution. So people who are, slightly, eccentric, spectrumy, you might say, they get really into Warhammer, like the little miniatures a lot of the time, and it's sort of been a similar thing with me with the cultural study of this group of people. I used to find them fascinating. Now I find everything a large amount of the culture around it quite terrifying and quite terrible. But I know how it works, and because it's been something which has caused me such suffering and traumatized me in such a way, uh, I am able to study it quite well and understand it very fucking well. And one of the things which I suspect is going to be a problem at the moment because I was paying attention to the transfer after David McBride's whistleblowing of the SAS because they committed several war crimes in Afghanistan, and those were covered up, and the process of that cover up stopped the development of operational effectiveness because systems and people don't get held accountable. Because when people are accountable, one person is held accountable, it makes everyone around them look bad. And then you have the issues with the hierarchy, and there's witch hunts, and it's a terrible fucking time for everyone. A lot of people have suffered quite terribly because of David McBride's whistleblowing, and I am all fucking for it, brother. Good work. Like seriously, man, that guy's had it worse than me. Now, with that, you've got this. You're going to have this issue where they've because between the commandos and the SAS, okay, and the commandos have seen themselves as equals to the SAS, and the SAS have seen themselves as something better because most people they've got the best marketing. And they've had the choice of the best people because people go through selection. Who do you want to go to? They say go to the SAS. They're trying to rebrand it for people in that pipeline to be able to that these are two different trades and they've got two different roles. Okay, and SAS is more meant to be long range reconnaissance, and Commando is more meant to be your sort of like a raiding and deep penetration force, but in large numbers. What they can do if the Australian military wants something similar. Like there isn't a need for Australia to develop a capability like the Delta Force, which is what the Americans have, because the Americans they have a whole heap of manpower, and they've also got this very old and complex bureaucracy. Like realistically, they do not need as many different specializations of special forces that they have. They have them because they've sort of developed historically, and what they then found is that the different cultures of these different organizations produced different kinds of soldiers. So they've sort of kept it, but in my opinion, I think they just can't prioritize, and they need to. They're really doing themselves a disservice. Here, though, What you could do is that you could have something like what the SEALs have, which is called the DevGru. Um, and they've got like, Australia has like the different tag teams. I can't remember. That's probably not the acronym. Oh, fuck me. Like, this is a, like, I get told, like, people want me to do work on shit. Here's some fucking work. But you don't need we don't need a Delta Force. There isn't a need for it. What you could develop is something like the SEALs have, which is like their Navy DevGru. So that was their SEAL Team 6. And if you wanted that, what you would do is that you'd just have that as your top tier team, and that allows you to be able to culturally say, hey, SAS and Commando are now equals. This is the group you go to if you're super super cool, okay? Because there is so much fucking ego in this. And the other side of special forces, which I want to explain, is that these people are people who are looking for autonomy in their work. So, in the military in general, it is a very confining culture, and it's often people do not have a lot of room to work. So, in that, there's this. I suspect there is this draw for people in that to go to special forces. Because they, such as the SAS, were shown to be like, and I don't know if Commando is like this. I am People fucking want me to do work. Here's some work. The 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 SAS, like, if you want, sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, just the SAS can do everything that Delta was meant to do. Delta's taken from them, like, sorry. Delta was transitioned from the SAS, and then they sort of just kind of do their own fucking thing now, I guess. Um, but if you want something which does really good counterterrorism, and you want people to have something to aspire to be, the Ultraman, just have that. Rant over.